Hello everyone, welcome to the Mike Tutor Cantonese channel. I am Mike, your host. So in this lesson, we are going to talk about the common Cantonese words every beginner must know. And we are going to cover the words actually, again, also, particle, and. Now, the flashcards and quizzes for this lesson will be available in the app, the Android app. And you can actually get this app through the link in the description for this lesson. So let's get started. So the first word that I want to talk about in this lesson is so, and that actually means actually in Cantonese. Now, there are several meanings to this particular word as well, such as emplacement of a place, classifier for houses, small buildings, institutions, etc. That or which, and as well as a particle introducing a relative clause or passive. So for the classifier for houses, small buildings, and institutions, I really wanted to say that it's more or less for writing only. So if we are speaking in Cantonese, we rarely use this as a classifier for the houses and small buildings, etc. But doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, just so that most of the time we don't use this as a classifier. Now, of course, with this Chinese character, it is often associated with other characters as well to form other meanings. So, for example, we have so yi, which means so, therefore, hence, or thus, and then we got so yao, which means all, to have, or to possess. So, for example, 所有財產 means all of the wealth, where 財產 means wealth. So, 所有 means all. Then, for another example is if you put the word human in the right next to 所有, you have 所有人, which means everyone. So if you're addressing everyone within a particular group or a vicinity, then you would say 所有人, 所有人. And lastly, you would have something called 所謂, 所謂. And that actually means so-called. So if I say, like, let's say this is so-called brand new, I would say 呢個所謂新嘅. So 所謂 is so-called. So with the words actually or so, you could actually look at our app, and then you could find the flashcard deck under the set words with actually. So now, moving on to the second character that we want to talk about is joy. Joy. And the meaning behind this character is just again or being repeated. And of course, if we add or append other characters to this, then we got different meanings or and definitions, right? So for example, if we add 加上 to joy, so the full word is joy 加上, it means to add over and above. So joy 加上 means you add over and above. And then the other thing is if we say 再次, 再次, it means once more or again. And of course, if you say once more, you would also sometimes would add the word one in the middle of these two characters. So you could say 再一次, and that also means once more as well. And of course, there's another really common word in Cantonese that uses this character as well, which is 再見, 再見. And of course, this just simply means goodbye or see you soon. Now, if you want to review these words in our Android app, you could look at the flashcard deck under the categories words with again. The third word that I want to talk about is do. Do. And that particular character means also or to. So, for example, if we append the character hai, then we would say do hai, do hai. And this means also is. So, for example, if we say this is yours as well, we would say 呢啲都係你嘅，呢啲都係你嘅。So, for example, in this case, this is 呢啲都係, of course, what we said also is, and 你嘅 just means it's yours. We could also append the characters 可以 after 都, and this also means it's all okay. So in this case, 都可以, it also means all okay. Now, how do you use these three characters? 都可以. So for example, if you are a waiter and somebody asks you, can we change this with this? Then you could say 都可以, and that works. You could also append the word 好, or which means good, to this word also, as in 都好, 都好, and this means all good or also good. And lastly, we could append the character 會 to 都, which pronounces 都會. Now, this can also mean several things. One thing is, you could say it is also be able to, or fully be able to. So, for example, if people ask you, do you know Cantonese as well? And then you would answer, oh, yes, I do know. Then in Cantonese, I'd say 我都會, which means I also know. However, though, there's another definition, which this is seldomly used in as just 都會, and that is city. Now, it doesn't pronounce like this. It pronounces 都會. Now, it doesn't, people seldomly use this to refer as city because city is 城市. However, if you're talking about metropolitan, in this case, then you would add the word big in front of this, and you would say 大都會, 大都會. Now, this means metropolitan. And even though that you would say city as 城市 in Cantonese, you won't say 大城市 in Cantonese for metropolitan. You would say 大都會 in Cantonese to refer to metropolitan. Now, if you want to refresh or try to study this word set, I recommend you to go over the flashcard deck within our app under the name Words with Also. Next, I wanted to talk about the ending particle, ga. So this ending particle is basically used to bring about some kind of emotions. So, for example, you'd say, yeah, that's what it is. So you would say, 係㗎. Or sometimes you would actually add the word la right after ga, just to express some sort of emotion. So, for example, I could say, 係㗎. Or we could also say, 係㗎啦, which is more, with the word la, is more or less adding the emotion of as a matter of fact. Like, this is just take it for granted, right? But it's used interchangeably, usually. If you refer to 係㗎 and 係㗎啦, it's very much the same. Now, lastly, sometimes you might hear 係㗎嘛, but this is actually very unpopular, so you don't really need to remember it as it is seldomly used, and sometimes it does sound weird. So usually when you look at this ending article, usually it's more or less to express the emotion of as a matter of fact, or just affirmation. Then you would either say ga or gala in the end of the sentence that you want to say. Now, of course, if you want to review the things that you will learn with this ending particle, you could check out the app flashcard deck under the name of words with an ending particle. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the character and. And in Cantonese, we'd say yi. Now, this is usually the meaning behind this character is and, as well as, and so, but, or yet. Now, however, you usually don't use this by itself. You usually would use it to attach with other characters as well. So, for example, if you attach the character che append to the word yi, which pronounces yi che, then you would get the word furthermore or moreover. So these are usually just sentence connection. And even with yi, when you want to use it as a but or yet in itself, this is a sentence connector as well. So the word yi is a sentence connector. Now, if you want to have a negative sentence connector, then you would say have the word and is append to the word yi, in which the full word is called yi hai. Yi hai. So the meaning behind these three characters together means instead of or rather than. Lastly, if you append the character ga to yi, then you have yi ga, and yi ga means right now or at this moment. So, for example, if I say, if right now I'm at the job, so we would say in Cantonese, 而家我返緊工, which means 而家 is right now at this moment. 我返 means I am at 返緊工, which means I'm at the job right now, right? Now, if you like the content and you like the knowledge that you learn, please like and subscribe to our channel. As well as, if you have not done so already, I recommend you to download our Cantonese learning app, in which the link is in the description below. So this app contains the flashcard decks as well as the quizzes of the words that you have learned in this lesson, as well as the other lessons that I have offered in my channel. Also, if you have any other learning questions or want to connect with other people who are learning Cantonese the same as you, please join our community Discord channel, in which I will be there, as well as other learners will be there to answer your questions as well as to mingle. And of course, the Discord channel link is in the description below as well. Now, thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next lesson.